Okay, this is how I measured these bearings. I took them to work with me, and we have these precision ground pins. Okay, these are precision ground to within 1/10,000th of an inch. They're guaranteed. This pin is 0.196 in diameter, and this pin is 0.197 in diameter. This is the bearing. Okay, the 196 pin. Hello. The 196 pin fits in. Okay, it's a little bit loose, but it fits in there real nice. The 197 pin doesn't fit. Okay, so it's smaller than 197 and a little bit bigger than 196. I'd say it's about 0.1966 or 0.1967, right in there somewhere. I also noticed that the gear shaft, now this is what I used to use the shafts. This is a 0 to 1 Mitutoyo micrometer. It's a very accurate instrument. I have to get it calibrated every 6 months because we do military work. Now this shaft is just a little bit under 196. It's about 0.1958. Let's see. Yeah, 1958. And I think what's going to be a problem is that the shafts with the bearings are bigger. This shaft, if I wanted to take the bushings off of this shaft and change it over to bearings, I'd have to grind this shaft because the shaft does not fit in the bearing. This shaft mics out at a little over 198. So we know that that's too big. I don't know what we're going to do about that. I guess if you get bearings, you might have to get the different shafts. It seems like the bearings that get the gears pressed on, which is how these were, they're pressed on. There's no pin in them or anything. It's just a press on there. And that's another problem. When they pressed this gear on there, they scored the shaft right here. So the bearing won't even come off. I'm going to have to get all that burr off of there before the bearing would come off, and then I wouldn't be able to get this shaft into the, or excuse me, before the bushing would come off, and then I wouldn't be able to get this shaft into the bearing anyway. I'd have to get a different shaft from someplace. These fit in here, and they're really, really loose. It's because these are zinc gears on here, and I'd really like to be able to put these steel gears on this shaft because it came with bearings, and that's probably what I'm going to do. What I'll do, even though it's too big, it doesn't make any difference because I'll drill a hole in here and I'll tap it on each side 180 degrees apart, drill and tap the hole for a 3mm set screw, and then I'll mill little flats in the shaft right under here. And then when I put that gear on there, I'll be able to put set screws in it to hold it in place. I've already got the bearing on there. The only reason I need to take this one off is because it's zinc, and I don't know if you can see it in this video or not, but it's pretty chewed up. So anyway, that's how I did it. That's how I got the measurements, and I hope this thing works out with the bearing packages because I've got a lot of gearboxes that I'd like to put bearings in. But the only way I can see it working is if the bearing kit comes with the shaft. You know, that's the only way I see it working because these shafts are too big and not everybody's got access to grinders like I do. I can grind mine down to make them fit in the bearing with no problem, but not everybody can do that. So anyway, I'll get with Eric and see what we can figure out. You know, maybe he can include shafts with the bearings in the kit, or if a guy really needs to get them changed, like I said on the post before, I suppose he could always mail them to me and I could fix them up and mail them back. You know, I don't know how well that'd work out, but I'd be willing to give it a try. So that's the deal. We'll see what happens.